Mr. Coffman.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Well, thank you so much for your long and continued service to our country. First, Admiral, I believe do we have 28 NATO allies? Is that the number?
Yes, sir. There's 28. Technically, the United States has 27 allies. There's a total of 28 nations in NATO. Yes, sir.
So out of the 27 allies to the United States within the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, how many are spending 2% of their gross domestic product on defense?
It depends how you measure it. As few as 4 and as many as 8.
Could it be argued that now they have a lot of the same pressures that we have, where it's are they going to maintain a welfare state or are they going to cut their defense budget? And it seems to me, and I'd like you to reflect on this, that they see perhaps the United States as a guarantor for their security. Maybe there's an over-reliance on the United States as a NATO member, where they feel like they can make those cuts in defense, where we're spending about 4.7% of GDP on defense in the United States. They're spending less than 2% on most NATO countries. Is that an accurate statement?
That is an accurate statement. And again, as I mentioned to one of your colleagues earlier, it's a subject I'm frequently press on with the Europeans, and I encourage our senior diplomatic and military officers to press with their interlocutors. We should continue to pressure the Europeans to spend more on defense.
So outside of the those facilities we have in Europe to support the NATO operations in Afghanistan, outside of those bases to maintain our expeditionary forces, such as I think we have a naval presence in Naples and in Rota, Spain, if we still do, and so the permanent bases our support of NATO does not necessarily. I mean, we could articulate our support for NATO by joint military exercises. We don't necessarily, there is no requirement to have permanent military bases in Europe, is there not?
There's no treaty requirement to have bases in Europe. That's a
Very
correct
good
statement.
And just let me just say, as a former soldier in the United States Army and later transferred to the Marine Corps, I served in the 1st Armored Division during the height of the Cold War, and it was very cold there. And as an infantry guy, mechanized infantry in the 1st Armored Division, and where I felt that there was a need for part of that 400,000 troops that you mentioned in Europe at that time, where there was truly a need for permanent military bases there, because we rotated back and forth to the Fulda Gap to have a presence there, where we were facing the Warsaw Pact forces just on the other side of the Czechoslovakian border, where my unit used to rotate to the then West German Czechoslovakian border. So I think that we ought to look at taking all of the BCTs out of there. General Ham, Laura, you mentioned the use of contractors for trainers in Africa. Is that the standard practice for AFRICOM?
It is. To be clear, sir, most of that training is under State Department authorities and resources, and it is largely under state contractor that those contractors operate.
Is a central part of your mission then to train up African military forces that share our strategic interest?
It is, yes, sir.
Then why is it necessary for us to go beyond that mission in terms of the Lord's Resistance Army? So instead of where we're actually going out with them on active operations?
Sir, we do not go out with them on active operations. The law and policy place us there in a training and advisory role only.
Okay. Now you're based in Europe. You're not based in Africa for security reasons?
Sir, when Africa Command was formed in 2007, 2008, it split apart from European Command, which previously had responsibility for Africa, and they are and remain located in Stuttgart. So it made sense that there were facilities and people to remain in Stuttgart.
Let me just say, I don't think it makes sense today, and I think Central Command is located in Florida, and I believe that your command, since it is not located in Africa, ought to be located in the United States as well. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.